Well, let me tell you a story, kids. Remember the story about the 41 Ford pickup we were going to do all this front end work to? And everything was going good? Yeah, it was going great. Here's the deal. This is a universal front end to fit anything, basically. The track width is 58 inches. Ford's narrow this generation. From the rear to the front, the track width is different. So the stock one, or what should have been in this truck, is 56 inches. Meaning the wheels are an inch out to each side. That, and we had 2-inch drop spindles and all sorts of stuff. And this company that makes this front end is called Helix. There's a lot to be desired. A lot of the components are really good. The ball joints are junk. We fought these ball joints I don't know how many times, but the nuts are really weak, and actually they don't take any weight. We found out a bunch of reviews, which we should have done first. And that's your lesson today, kids, is don't take universal to fit everything, because it's not always going to be right, because then you're going to end up spending way more money to make it be right and be what you needed, when if you did your research you could have found the actual thing that goes in here to make everything a lot easier, because labor costs and everything else and extra parts, like 4 new ball joints for instance, and then having to change the spindles and all sorts of stuff and modifications for airbags and blah 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 and on and on. That's what happens. It's just a fact of building. It's also a lot easier on not only the paycheck but the mental, for the person doing it and the person that's haven't paid for it to be done, because the tally, it just tallies up. These are the new wheels for it. They're center lines. They're to match the rod lights in the back, but they're 15 by 6, and the offset has to be, I think it's 3.5-inch backspace on this. To make it fit right, we're hoping. We do still have to change the ball joints on this. We had to order them. They're a Moog part number. I can't remember what they are, but I think they fit Dodge. They're screw in the top, and the bottom's the same way. It's bigger on the bottom, obviously. The ball joints that come with this come with spacers to put between the nut and the spindle. So the spindle goes down in the wedge. There's no instruction saying install it this way, and a lot of guys will install them spindle, or they'll install ball joint spacer because it's big enough to fit around the shaft of the spindle, and then they'll put the spindle in and put the nut on, and the spindle has a conical recess in it, bore, and the ball joint is a cone, which is supposed to fit in there and wedge in tight so it actually locks in, and using the spacer eliminates that. The other problem is if you do it the other way and you put the spacer on the nuts, this ball joint's cross drilled in 2 directions, which makes it a really weak spot. And putting a spacer below the nut, for these castle nuts, the castle wasn't deep enough and the spacer was too tall for us to get the cotter pin in, and when we were tightening it down, trying to suck the cone in and make it tight so the ball joint itself wouldn't spin in the socket, that's what we were running into. The nuts just stripped, and so did the threads on the ball joints. They're that weak, and a myriad of other issues. But that being said, spend your money. If you're going to do a Mustang 2 kit or an aftermarket front end, call the tech department first. Shop around, but call the tech department, tell them what you have, and save yourself some headaches, and do a good company like Heights or Fat Man or something like that. Don't just go with whatever's the cheapest. That's just the way it is. Anyway, that's what's going on, kids. This thing does run. It does move around. We do have that spot. I haven't been able to film it. It's been very frustrating. Thanks for looking at it. The front end, new hood hinges and all that stuff, it's a whole lot better, but that's what we're looking at. Don't pay attention to that air filter. That thing's just there to keep me from dropping screws into it. But yeah, that's it. That's what's going on. I'll see you guys later. Aloha.